live important video. It's been a long time. I think it's been about a month or so, guys. So we're gonna wait for the notification to come out briefly. I got everything ready to go, guys. We got a good one today. There we go. Notifications just went out. Before I start, don't forget to, when you come in the live feed, like, subscribe, comment. If you have any questions, keep everything positive, good energy. I just want to say Shalom, Huaman Rawabat. Hope everybody's having a grand rising. All right? We about to get into it real quick. My phone's about to die. I thought I had more battery. So, let's do this. All right. All right, let's get it. Shambhallah and AGHARTA, cities within the earth. Shambhallah is a galactical United Nations, as opposed to an Earth United Nations. You know how we have the UN, the United Nations? Well, Shambhallah is a galactical United Nations, right? Shambhallah has the largest library and medical library on this side of the galaxy. Shambhallah has climate control. There are no volcanoes and earthquakes. Environment control implies that there is disease control. There are no years, months, and days, being that the sun is in the center of the inner world, and the planet is not moving around anything. There's no war, no speciesism, and things of that nature, right? Shambhallah, the capital of the subterranean world. The inner earth can be reached by way of entrances at the poles. At the center of the inner earth is a central sun. Question: how could the earth that is solid have an inner world? This is the answer. That is the point. Your planet is not a solid rock. There are three major divisions in Earth. 1, inner core. 2, outer core. 3, the crust. Can you turn it down? The crust, which is a very thin layer, it is called the mantle. So just because the Earth's surface is 197,474 million square miles, and the weight is 6 trillion tons, doesn't make it a solid. If your planet was a rock, then its weight would be much more. There isn't anything on this planet that is a solid. So why would the earth be beneath your very feet? Is a region whose radius is 6,294 kilometers. The earth's radius is 3,693 miles from the pyramids in Egypt today. Have people ever explored the inner world? Answer: yes. However, the existence of the inner world has been denied, so much until people assume that it is fiction. However, it is a fact that the inner world does exist and it does have inhabitants. Many people have reached the inner world as far back as the 1950s. Whether it's by accident or intentional, people have given different accounts of how they got there and their experiences while they were there. All right, hold on one second, guys. Let's see. Shaver claimed that he could hear voices and see visual projections of people who existed beneath the surface of the planet Earth. He was told that when the Earth was young, the Earth was visited by a race of beings who came from another solar system. He called this race the Elder Gods, and who, with their advances in science and knowledge of DNA and RNA manipulation, were able to live were able to live to be hundreds of years old. They also discovered the secret of life and unaliving. For the elders, know that unaliving is an illness in humans that can be cured or prolonged. These elder gods were the Shiuk, or the Riskians, from the planet Risk in the 19th galaxy Ilium. Early humans that existed on Earth at that time considered them as gods. These highly intelligent beings built a large computer called Mech, from which they get the word Macintosh. With these machines, they could scan the surface, pick up scans from all over the planet, or televise them. They could project both thought and three-dimensional images at will by simply flicking switches. Extract thoughts from another person's mind or implant thoughts into it. They were able to stimulate any emotion and cure various diseases, alter the weather and create natural calamities. They also had mech, M-E-C-H, which can be used to make clothing and other articles. The disagreeable ones among them also built a large computer. It was called HAL, and the Earth counterparts made an offshoot of the HAL called IBM. You've all heard about those IBM computers, right? Over a period of time, the inner sun started throwing off radioactive particles, which polluted the air breathed into the lungs and accumulated in food and water, causing a shortening of their lifespan by increasing the aging process and causing other effects. The Shayuk tried to escape, bored underground, hollowing out artificially or modifying already existing natural caverns. With a device similar to a laser beam, they proceeded to build large cities with tunnels connecting them 40 to 20 miles beneath the surface. Many relocated to another planet and took some of their mech with them. All right. One group of agreeable beings wanted to make these devices available to surface dwellers. However, the disagreeable group disagreed because the surface dwellers were unskilled and were not able to use the computers correctly. You see, there's a balance with everything. You have yin and yang. When every decision is made, you have agreeable and disagreeable. There's a council. Galactic Federation, there's a council. There's elders. There's governors in different sectors. You know what I'm saying? So there's a whole process with stuff like this. So yes, the agreeable and disagreeable do have to come together to make an agreement, all right, that deals with their people, to use the computers correctly. There was an argument between the two groups, and it was decided to keep the computers locked away in a cavern in the earth so that the surface dwellers couldn't get to them. Because of the population problem, the elder race was not able to take all of their own race. The ones who were left behind began to disintegrate due to the radioactivity of the sun. After centuries had passed, because of the radioactivity and the unskilled use of these massive computers, a large amount of the brains of the other beings that were in the inner world produced a form of hereditary insanity. This is a picture of the Shayuk, the Riskians, the elders, right? Now we're about to start discussing some of the beings that are in the inner world, right? So it's about to get interesting. Let's get to it. Now, just a disclaimer, if you're a part of any of these species, some species have different body structures. This is not to downgrade anyone, anything like that. We're just bringing out information. Some people that are walking this earth are still have DNA and are from these extraterrestrial species. All right, so let's get to it. The first species. This group of insane cave dwellers were called Sumerian, Samayan, or Abydos, or as they're called today, Dayros, which is a combination of the words detrimental and robots. These Dayros really exist. They are born by hatching from eggs that are 4 to 6 feet in diameter. They are born, they grow to 7 feet and are extremely obese. The Dayros who lived in the caves are degenerated so much that they don't have much intelligence. They have 2 stomachs and their digestive system is the same of that of a cow. Dayros and cows both chew the cud. You know how it speaks about in the Bible, what you can and cannot eat. Animals that chew up the cud, right? These beings chew up the cud just like a cow, okay? Meaning when cows eat, they chew their food and it goes through the initial stages of digestion where it reaches a large sac that is before the true stomach. The food is then regurgitated to the mouth for further chewing. This is called chewing the cud, right? Many people today, this is what I was saying earlier, many people today who are obese are descendants of the Dayros. I'm talking about those people who have a serious problem, weighing over 300 pounds and more. Is not normal for human beings. It is obviously a hereditary glandular problem, and it is caused by overactive glands. Certain endocrine gland disorders, such as hyperthyroidism or tumors of the adrenal gland, pancreas, or pituitary gland, can cause obesity. It is a trait of the Dayros. They are from the Dayros. Make note, the physical similarity between the obese woman pictured on this page and the Dayro. Notice the stocky build and the pot belly. This is an example of the Dayros, right? Now, I'm going to give you a little bit more, you all right? Yeah. The reason I keep saying that, guys, I got my matriarch, she's holding my phone. I got to get a whole thing set up so I can be more professional for you guys, man. But we're going to keep going. This is a little bit more about the Dayros. Then we're going to go to another species. The Dayros have no fingernails, tail nails, nipples, navel, or rectum. Their eyes are silver gray and glow in the dark. They have blonde eyebrows and a pinkish gray skin color, much like of 6 ether beings. And a pig, having not been exposed to the inner or outer sun, other than their eyebrows, they have no hair on their bodies. All right. They are nocturnal. They hear extremely well. They're not very peaceful and have a strong dislike for human beings. They are very human in appearance. All right. This guy here, he's the chief of that species. I'm trying to get to the vernaculars and Dayros real quick, and then I got you. All right, so okay, here we go. Another group is called the Dayros. Dayros were from disagreeable people, and Dayros were from agreeable people. The Dayros, which is short for ingenerative or constructive, are a sub-race that usually keep the Dayros in check. But I told you, everything has a check and balance. There's always order. So these beings I'm speaking about, they kept the Dayros in check. Remember, they're not very peaceful, right? The Dayros came from the planet Jamon, Jomon, in the star constellation Arcturus, which is in the Bootes constellation. Arcturus, the red giant, the 4th brightest star in the heaven, is where much mixing took place. The Teros have 48 chromosomes instead of the normal people's 46. The Teros chromosome structure is so different from Earthlings that when mixed with certain humans causes a defect of 47 chromosomes, which is today called Down syndrome. You see? Everything that we have today comes from ancient times. There's nothing new under the sun. Okay? Down syndrome can be found in all races of the planet Earth. For every 800 children born on Earth has this trait. You see? Because of the atmosphere of Jaman, their children are usually born with breathing defects, as well as congenital heart disease, and they also have poor digestive systems. Their immune system is unable to function properly, and they are more apt to get leukemia. The Teros have an abundance of pigmentation in their skin, are descendants of the Shayuk, the Riskians, and those who are lacking of pigmentation are descendants of the Flugeras and the Halal. All right, so you have your melanated ones from the Riskians, you have your less melanated beings from the Flugeras. The Teros bored farther into the earth and were able to keep their sanity. Remember, the radioactivity was coming in, so they went farther down than other species, right? So they kept their sanity. Now, the Teros, okay, y'all. The Teros took on different forms, and others look so human they can come to the surface and not be noticed. Y'all want to know a perfect movie that shows you the Teros species in today's time? Well, it came out, years ago when we was a lot younger. I believe the 80s or 90s or whatnot. But go check out the movie Coneheads. The movie Coneheads, that is your Teros species. If you haven't watched it, please do. And I'm going to show you what I mean. I'm going to show you a picture of the species. It's going to show you the dark melanated and the less melanated. These pictures are in black and white because they come from a different time frame. See? They look just like that guy off the Coneheads. All right? That's the Teros. All right, now let's get this other species real quick. This is the chief with the Coneheads, the Teros. All right. Okay, you got the Darwinese species. Okay. The Darwinese species are constantly in conflict with, the other species, the Teros and Deros, are constantly in conflict with a group of beings called the Darwinese, who hold the same belief that they too will take over the planet one day. The Darwinese, who originally came from the Canis Major constellation, look like porcupines. Who originally, that's a typo right here, guys. Okay. All right, guys. My phone is on 10%, guys. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to stop there. Again, this is Shambhallah and AGHARTA, cities within the earth. We just read briefly about what it's about, briefly about the Deros, the Teros. We were going to do the Darwinese. If you want to do your own research, it's called Shambhallah and AGHARTA. The name is in the title. Go check out the other species that I didn't get to, the Danakil tribe. You can go check those guys out as well. We love you guys. Peace and blessings. Kwam Yasharala, Huamana, Rawabat. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Check out all our music on all streaming platforms. Grand Risings, brothers. We out.